What's good, everybody? This D coming right back at you with another video. This video here, I'm just gonna sit here and talk about Shenmue 3. I really ain't really been talking about Shenmue 3 mainly because there really hasn't been a lot of unveiling or any information coming out from Yu Suzuki's camp about Shenmue 3. We just got the still got the same few trailers, which are great trailers, but there's really nothing being said about the game so far. But I'm still ultra confident that Yu Suzuki is still going to deliver us probably the best open world experience in the generation, right next to Red Dead Redemption 2. And even though Shenmue 3 is still like a couple of months and some change away, I'm still counting down the days. And since they haven't really been, releasing any information, I'm just gonna tell you what I'm hoping to see in Shenmue 3. Now the graphics, it's kind of hard because the graphics are not really the best graphics as far as PS4 standpoint, but still graphics are beautiful. What more can you ask for? Character expressions and stuff like that, yeah, they're a little bit on the downside, but I'm satisfied with it. At least the game is actually coming out. That's how I looked at it. And as far as other sides of the graphics, I mean, the visuals, man, this shit is just stunning. It's beautiful. Like the environments, the architecture, everything is there. This is what kind of pulled me in when the first two Shenmues came out, shit, almost 14 years ago. And it's just the same way here now, and the visuals still stellar. World looks alive, living, breathing, people walking around and stuff like that. So all in all, I still like the graphics and visuals. I know it's not on par with games such as Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Red Dead Redemption 2. We already know that, but that's not what it's about, especially with a game like Shenmue. The overall experience, man, that's gonna overdo the graphics and the visuals any day. But I'm still satisfied with what I see with the graphics and visuals. It's, expressions, maybe not, but with everything else, man, I'm cool with it. And also, I would like to see a little bit of a customization system for Ryu Hazuki, just to kind of put him into the times a little bit. One thing about these trailers, it didn't show any of that. It didn't show if you could customize Ryu or anything like that. Maybe they got something like that going on in the works, but that would be a cool thing to do. Let Ryu wear some different clothes or stuff like that. Put him in some some Chinese clothes, some little kung fu suits and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they'll have something like that going on, but who knows. And also, I would like to see Ryu Hazuki use other material other than the forklift. Now, I did read somewhere that the forklift may be returning in Shenmue 3, which I don't have no problem with if it does. But I would like to see Ryu Hazuki use some other type of material, probably like a bike or something like that. I don't want him to use cars because that's just against what Shenmue stands for. No vehicles, but something like a bike or something like that. See if he could interact with a bike or things like that, just other than a forklift. I would like to see something like that. I think we're gonna get something like that. Probably Ryu, probably riding a bike or something like that, because if they're gonna be in Bailu Village, you gotta have some type of material. I don't think there's just gonna be a lot of walking around, so that's gonna be kind of interesting to see if Ryu has some other type of material that he can use, such as a bike or whatever they got in the works. That'd be a cool thing to see too. Now for the characters. Now this is really gets really interesting when it comes to Shenmue 3, because like I said, nobody has really been, revealed as far as classical characters, characters like Joy and Wong and Rin. We are just not seeing these characters right now. The only characters that we know about are the characters that we see in the trailer. We see the old man and all that. But as far as the characters are concerned, that is the big question mark. Which characters are going to return? Because I have a couple of favorite characters from the first two Shenmues that I want to return into the game. Wong, of course, being one of those characters. I just like him. He was just a little cool kid. And characters like Joy. Joy brung a little bit of, she brung a little bit of energy to the story. You know, hopefully Joy returns to the story. But like I said, but that the characters right now, that is just the biggest question mark. Like, which characters are gonna return? It's like they're really not saying nothing about that. And you know, I haven't even really seen any, you know, conceptual art of any characters that are even gonna return. So I think maybe that's the whole point of it. Maybe it's like an anticipation tactic, and then when we finally get our hands on the game, we're gonna see, you know, we're probably like kind of get surprised on what characters are gonna return. But that's one of the things. I just, you know, hoping that, you know, some classic characters return. But you know, growing up and playing Yu Suzuki's games, Yu Suzuki has always been that producer to where he really doesn't leave his characters out. He always has a spot for his characters in any game and any story. So I'm pretty much confident that we're gonna get a good deal of returning characters that I've just mentioned to come in the game. And another character, you know, Li Xiaotao, aka Chu Ying, I think she has to be in the game, because the way that Shenmue 2 kind of ended, she had a good part to play in that. You know, with her saving Ryu Uzuki from the big guy. You know, it's been so long, I forgot that big dude's name, big bald dude's name. So she saves him from him, and you know, there's a little bit of connection with her and the Chi Yu man. So I think Li Xiaotao is gonna return into the game. But you know, like I said before, you know, I just hope a good deal of characters do return. And another thing I really want to happen is that when it comes to Ryu's father, Iwao Hazuki, the first two Shenmues, they had it where, you know, Ryu would have cinematic memories of his father. I hope that returns also. In Shenmue 2, they kind of got away with that. But then the first Shenmue, Ryu always had those cinematic memories. I really like that about the first Shenmue. I hope that kind of comes back too, and I hope we do learn more about Ryu's father in the process. Now, if any of you can remember way back in the first Shenmue, where Ryu discovers the hidden basement under his dojo, Ryu finds a comb and he gets interested by it. You know, at first I was thinking maybe it might have belonged to his mother or something like that. But Ryu has been holding on to that comb ever since. You know, I wonder if that comb has anything to do with the story. It's just one of those things that a lot of people, even a lot of Shenmue fans, haven't really talked about. But it's something I really noticed about that comb. I'm like, what is the meaning of that comb, and why is Ryu hanging on to it? You know, it's just kind of amazing. It's kind of interesting. I wonder, you know, if that comb is gonna come into play in Shenmue 3. That'd be pretty cool if you do. Now I want to talk about Landy, because Landy, he is such an enigma. And what I want to see in Shenmue 3, I just want to see Landy, like, I just want to see his personality come out. Of course, I want to hear him talk. He needs to say more than just 5 words. You know, I just want to see Landy really just involved in the story, involved with the overall progression of the story. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's the big bad guy of Shenmue, so I want to see Landy, you know, in some action, pretty much. Kind of like, you know, just see him, you know, how does he control the Chi-Yu man? What does he do with inside of his organization? How does he run things? I want to learn that about Landy. Landy is such an enigma. Like, he's just, like, one day he's there, then the next day he ain't. You know, that's not good enough for me. I just hope they just have Landy play a much bigger role into the story. I hope he gets more, you know, more face time in the game as well. One of the trailers, they did see, you know, him and Ryu Uzuki did square off, but of course Landy didn't say anything. But I just hope Landy just has a, you know, he just has more exposure into the game. I think it's really time we need to know who Landy is. I know at the end of Shenmue 2, Julian Dai, he kind of explained who Landy truly is just a little bit, but that was about it. I mean, we really, you know, we need to know who Landy is now. We need to know who he is. We need to know how he does things, and we just need to see this guy in total action, not just martial arts, but how does he run this organization? You know, that's what I want to see from Landy. I just want Landy to start shining. You know what I'm saying? I really want this character to come out. And of course, you know, Shenmue is known for the arts. You know, when Ryu Hazuki, when he's traveling, when he's journeying, you know, he comes across people that helps him with martial arts. And of course, as we seen in the trailer, that is still in because of course we see the old man teaching Ryu some kung fu. So you know that's going to be in the play. And you know, I'm just looking to see more of that. You know, that's one thing I've always liked about Shenmue is where you can just pick up different arts and techniques from different people. So that's pretty cool. So I'm looking to see more of that. I'm looking to see more. I'm looking for Ryu to be more kung fu based this time around. Just kind of, you know, maybe not turn him totally into a kung fu master, but you know, kind of, you know, more of the kung fu base. I think we're gonna also get that as well because I kind of see Ryu's fighting style is kind of changing up a little bit. Before he was more offensive, kind of like karate based. Now you can kind of see in these trailers he's more defensive and more methodical, much like kung fu. You know what I'm saying? So you know the arts. That's another thing I'm looking for, and you know how you'll be able to achieve them and stuff like that. I'm looking to see how you can do that. Now, as for the story direction, I don't think that Shenmue 3 is the conclusion of it. Might be, might not be. But I do want to see the story kind of. I'm not going to say I want the story to end. If it was up to me, I would want Shenmue to go forever and ever and ever because I just love Shenmue. That's my personal opinion. But as far as the story is concerned, I would like the story to kind of speed up a little bit. And it's just kind of going back to what I said about Landy. I just want more stuff to just come at us a little bit quicker than what it did in the first two Shenmues. Actually, the first Shenmue, it was a little bit, it was really fast, and I really like that. Shenmue 2 kind of slowed down. Actually, Shenmue 2 kind of teased us a little bit, which it was kind of cool. It was all right. But I hope in Shenmue 3, you know, the story comes at us kind of fast. Like we can just kind of grip on, you know, what's going on, and like I said, you know, put more action into it, and then just kind of like make some characters such as Landy stand out, and other characters, whoever returns into the game, you know, make them more, you know, make them more in tune with the game and with Ryu's journey. I mean, it was like that in the first two Shenmues, but it was not so much. But maybe that was because system like the Dreamcast couldn't handle it. But now it's PS4, and probably Suzuki. You know, he's probably gonna go all out with it. We probably gonna see a lot of good stuff as far as a story. Probably gonna see some good twists and turns. Like I said before, like the whole thing with the comb. I'm hoping that gets explained when Ryu finds that comb, and I'm pretty sure people that's just forgotten about that comb. Like I've never forgot about when Ryu finds that comb. I'm like, damn, what is that comb all about? Like, why is he carrying it around? You know, it's just, you know, this is one of those suspect things. You know, does it belong to his mother? You know, it's clearly a female comb. So I mean, I hope that comb gets explained, but I don't know, probably not. That's probably gonna get lost in the shuffle. But you know, as far as the story direction, yeah, hopefully it comes at us kind of fast. Hopefully Ryu has a lot of interactions with the Chiyu man, not so much interactions with other kind of characters. And that's another thing with the first two Shenmues. It was kind of like, it kind of branded us off of Ryu's path a little bit, which I had no problem with. The game was still fun, but hopefully it'll just be Ryu Hazuki and the Chiyu man, and the story progresses that way. So that's what I'm looking for with the story. I hope the story is just fast. It comes at us really fast. And of course, I hope it's lengthy, but fast at the same time, meaning that, the plot comes at us very quickly. The action comes at us very quickly, I hope it's going to be like that, and I think it will. And for things that I've been thinking about, I guess this goes along with the progressing the story. Like I said before, I want to know more about Landy. I want to know more about Ryu's father. Just a little bit more in depth. Like, is Ryu gonna have those little cinematic memories again? And if so, how long are they gonna be? What story are those cinematic memories gonna tell? I'm very anxious to see if Yu Suzuki is gonna put those back into the game. Because, like I said, in Shenmue 2, you didn't really see that too much. But in Shenmue 1, you saw it all the time where Ryu was having memories of his father. So I hope that it comes back. And then on top of that, like a couple of other characters, I hope would kind of make a return, just, you know, just to be there. I hope Tom, even though it's highly unlikely, I hope Tom comes into the game. You just never know. Maybe they might find a spot for Tom to come into the game. And then on top of that, Julian Dai, I really want to know more about him, and practically because when we first discovered him in Shenmue 2, you know, the dude was pretty old, and you know, he was pretty much in a wheelchair and stuff like that. And if you remember the picture it was Ryu's father, and it had to have been Julian Dai. I'm thinking it was those two guys. Hopefully, with that picture, hopefully Julian Dai comes back into the game and tells more about the history, tells more about the story, and hopefully, you know, Julian Dai, he's like one of those characters that can really open this wide open. He can just really just open the whole Shenmue story up. So hopefully he'll make a return in the game. We can find out some more about him and the history between him, Ryu's father, and Landy, and whoever else. Man, you know, but that's what's making me kind of excited about Shenmue 3. It's just because it's just so much. It's so much that, you know, so much that we just want to know what's going to happen here, man. That's what's making me excited, man. That's why I said, man, in a last video that I did about Shenmue 3, I did explain, I did actually go on a limb and said, like, look, I understand that Red Dead 2 is the better game, but I am going to enjoy Shenmue 3 more than I enjoy Red Dead Redemption 2. Plain and simple. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the better game. I understand that, but Shenmue 3, man, it's just so much going on with the story. It's just so much that I want to know. It's so much that I need to know with these characters and everything else. Man, this is going to be a lot of fun, and like I said before, I'm counting down. August is coming. It's coming. I have to say, myself and for the rest of the Shenmue world, we are definitely sitting on our hands right now waiting for this game to release. Like I said, August is coming, man. And Shenmue 3, man, when I get my hands on this game, it is going to be it's going to be some non-stop gameplay for the 24 hours that I get that game. Seriously. We don't really know the run time for the game. We don't know if it's 20 hours, 30 hours, 40 hours, but you know, as soon as I download the game, meaning that, you know, I'm gonna buy the physical copy, but as soon as I install it into the system, man, it's just gonna be, hey, it's gonna be on and popping after that, man. Shenmue 3, man, the next 24 to 48 hours, it's just gonna be all Shenmue 3. So what do y'all feel so far about Shenmue 3? I know y'all excited about it, man. We all excited about it. So what are y'all looking for when it comes to Shenmue 3? Do you have any mentionables, or, you know, if you can remember in the past Shenmue games that you came across something and you want explained in Shenmue 3? Because the first two Shenmue games had a lot of that. They had a lot of stuff where you came across it and it was never explained, and it could be explained in Shenmue 3. So, man, let me know your thoughts about Shenmue 3. Man, leave it in the comment section. Let's get the likes up. Subscribe if you got time. My name is D. Holler at y'all in the next video. August is almost approaching. Ryu Hazuki is coming back in our lives. I can't wait. See you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.